But when you want people to be responsible for your happiness, when you want people to be responsible for how you feel about yourself, that is an inside job. And it's draining. It becomes something to where, like, we have to validate you. Your peers, your outside peers have to validate you. And to me, we're not your parents.
Roll me, Mac.
What do you find to be green flags in women for attraction? So before we even get started, this is under the impression that we as men are putting forth that effort into being on our purpose, into acting like a man, acting mature, all those things. We're putting forth the effort, okay? This is not something to like kind of demand in your woman if indeed she really is taking care of your ass. Like, you literally are depending upon your woman for advancement in life. Like, life does not function without her. This is for men who tend to believe that they're working towards being their best self every day and on their purpose, and just making efforts into being a man on a daily basis. That's what this is. That's coming from. This perspective is coming from. So, whatever is said here, do not take and run with it and be like, well, this is just for any man. No, these are for the men who have earned or are earning their cachet as far as what to anticipate in a woman. I hope that makes sense. Without further ado, green flags in women when it comes to attraction. Number one, she is feminine and genuinely wants to be feminine. Like, it's not essentially an act for her. It is not a hook, line, and gotcha motherfucker type thing for them. They genuinely want to operate in their feminine around a man. Is like a natural instinct for them. That's number one. I would say is a green flag. Number two, the ones that have been so used to being, operating in their masculine energy, have to be tough around men to make sure shit gets done, but they are making the conscious effort of learning how to operate more into their feminine around a man that they do trust to lead. Like, he's shown that he has those qualities and that she trusts herself with him. You know what I'm saying? So that I would say that's green flags for me. You know, like you're either gonna come across women that are naturally that's just what they grew up around. Like they saw their mother was very much feminine, you know, operating more in their feminine, very much like girly dresses, heels, all that shit, you know what I'm saying? And then of course it is the ones that are learning to operate into their feminine as well, and it's much appreciation to both, honestly. But the biggest thing to take from both of that, and a green flag that I see, is the trust in the guy of interest, a lady of interest, whatever it is, but operating in your feminine energy so that there's a balance, there's polarity. And another green flag in that is has a thing for fashion, and executes it well according to her figure, and knows when to get dolled up, and knows when to sit around the house in some sweatpants, t-shirt, and rollers, head wraps, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Like she knows how to dress for the occasion. That to me is a green flag. Another green flag is care, like a genuine care, like how are you, and not so much momming you, but the care that I would say a mother would just, it's like a genuine care of like wanting to just check on you, seeing how things are with you. More so focused on you. She doesn't make whatever she asks about her. That's a green flag. I'd say where she genuinely just wants to know how you're doing, how your day went, the things that you're into, and doesn't use any joy you share, any joy you share within your day. She does not make it about her because she wasn't responsible for your happiness. That to me is a green flag, and the opposite would be obviously a form of codependency. And another green flag, it's not mandatory, but knows how to. A green flag is that she also knows how to cook, because I also know how to cook, you know what I'm saying, or willing to learn. And my theory is if you can read, you can cook. So as far as like feeling like you gotta be Martha Stewart or Patti LaBelle and the Patty Pies or anything like that is not necessary. If you can read, you can cook. The point is that we're not going to starve because we both know how to work our way around the kitchen. I mean, I cook enough for survival. I look at myself as a survival chef, not somebody that is like, you got to come taste my cooking, that type of thing. I don't care about that. Just enough that we can survive off of it. You know what I mean? Have a little bit different arsenal to pull from as far as meals go. But it's not that deep for me as far as like to be in competition with cooking. Another green flag, listening. A woman that listens, right? A woman that listens, not only listens, but a woman that takes accountability and listens to understand. She doesn't listen to reply. Like she's already trying to defend herself because she feels attacked, which is, I think, commonly in, the emotionally immature person, not just women, but in an emotionally immature person, I speak we because I certainly have done it and might be still doing it unconsciously, but we will try to defend our identity of what's being said. Like if somebody's coming for us and we're not listening to what they felt, we're focused on how we look, that's the difference. So to have, I think a green flag to me is a woman that listens and also takes accountability for her actions and things. Like she doesn't make excuses as to why this thing fucked up. She just admits she fucked up or this fucked up. And she's still lovable at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? We're all still lovable. But the inability to take accountability for your part in something is most definitely a red flag, and that's something to keep in the back of your mind. I say it for a man in dating, and really for a woman in dating too. like the lack of accountability. But green flags, she does not have a problem talking about her parents when asked about that. You know, being very much into like mental health and like asking how's the relationship with your parents. If there is an immediate defensive response, look more into that. I won't say that that's a total like a deal breaker or anything, but I would look more into that situation as to why that person feels that way. You know, because we tend to mirror what we see, and there's no getting around it. And I know a lot of us, we spent years trying to not be like our parents, only to become just like our parents. You gotta love how how psychology works. But to be able to have the conversation as to why how did we get this way, right? A lot of things we're not so proud of, decisions that we've made, choices that we've done, choices we've made, and we look back at it like we would have made different choices, but we mirror what we see. A lot of times we mirror what we see unknowingly, before recognizing that we're just running on a cycle or running on a program that we pull from. We pull something from what we find to be familiar. We're doing what's familiar versus what's best for us, and that's okay. It's about having grace with that, and having grace with yourself, number one. That's the biggest thing. And that's another green flag, is that she has grace. She gives herself grace as far as like any mistakes. She doesn't feel like she has to be super mom, super woman to live. She's okay that she's enough. To me, that's a green flag. And because I know a lot of times, seeing not just women I've dated, but just also women I've engaged with, I've seen like friends and stuff, and like they'll be dating my friends or something, but they will try to be try to put on the biggest parties for a 1-year-old. That party's not about the 1-year-old. That party is about ego. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, I have to be the super mom and all this. I have to get the Turbo Man doll for my kid at Christmas, like the number one toy that year and all this stuff, and just to prove that you're like a dope mom. You're still a dope mom, regardless if you're able to get that gift. But like commonly just seeing them just having grace with themselves, being able to just understand that they too make mistakes. They don't have to be perfect. Another green flag, she's imperfect. Yes, and that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are perfect because of your imperfections, and it's like learning to embrace those imperfections. That's a green flag. The fact that she embraces her imperfections, and she sees life. She takes life as it is. It's light. Green flags. She will defer to you in decisions, even though she can make the decisions. That's indirectly giving a shit test, as we call it in the manosphere, to a man to see, she trusts you to lead, and what are you going to do when you get that call about making a decision on something, even something as small as like, how do I look at this? What should I wear to this formal or whatever it is? You know what I'm saying? Like, she could have easily called up her friends. She could have easily decided on her own. She asked you. So there is a level of trust that comes there, that she values how you feel about something, your opinion on things, like not just about a dress, maybe a situation that might have happened at work. Maybe it's something that was just on her mind within the family, whatever it is, there's that level of trust that comes with that. That's something that doesn't go unmentioned or unrecognized when a woman is like, she defers to you for a second opinion or decision making, if you will. Like, to me, that's a green flag. That's a green flag, and it's something where when you've shown that you have leadership ability, qualities, calm energy, you tend to get folks, not just like in a dating scenario, but even just like in a work scenario, sometimes you'll get people come and ask you things to get your opinion on things. And I think that's more because they trust your mature ability to make decisions. And that's much appreciated. To me, that's a green flag. And an attraction in dating doesn't try to compete with you, doesn't try to one up you like what a guy would do. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy at the bar talking about what he did in the military, and then you got this other guy saying, well, we did this thing, you know, and it's like a constant, you know, back and forth of unnecessary conflict. That's a green flag. That's why I'll put that together. Doesn't compete with you and doesn't want to have unnecessary conflict to prove her ego right. Like, understands we're just having a conversation to get to, you know, from point A to point B together, not, you know, not me versus you. It's you and me versus the problem type thing. So, and doesn't necessarily green flag doesn't project, you know, doesn't project her insecurities. That's a green flag. And you can have your insecurities, but when you want people to be responsible for your happiness, when you want people to be responsible for how you feel about yourself, that is an inside job, and it's draining. It becomes something to where, like, we have to validate you. Your peers, your outside peers have to validate you. And to me, we're not your parents. I love that. And as far as like a green flag. Now, asking how a person looks in something, and they ask you, like, I guess that's the perfect example. Like, let's just say a woman asks, how do I look in this particular attire? And you tell her the truth, but don't try to be like a comedian and like bash a woman, you know what I'm saying, when she asks how it looks. But like, I don't care for that preference. I don't prefer that look in you or something like that. But as far as like, girl, that shit make you look like Sherman Klump, you know, like something like that is, you're gonna get back what you put out. So if you speak from that level, you're gonna get that back. Whatever you put out into the universe is what you're going to get in return. But it can easily be like, well, I respect that you might find it of interest. I don't personally prefer this look for you. There's a difference in that, you know, saying that versus, you know, girl, you look like a Care Bear, or, you know, like My Little Pony, with whatever, anything like any popular reference that's used in a joke. You know, that's just something that we would always do growing up. We always be like cracking on one another, and we'll just use a popular reference and say, hey, that person over there that girl look like Teddy Pendergrass or something. And it, you know, it's funny. It's just, you know, it's obviously she don't really look like Teddy Pendergrass, but she might look rough in the face or something. But it's comedy. You know, it's just comedy. It's just stuff like that. But if somebody really is coming to you asking you for your opinion about this, if a woman's coming to you and asking for your opinion about, okay, how do I look in this? What do you think about this attire? Yeah, and she's just able to take that. She doesn't get upset when you don't agree with her. Green flag. She doesn't throw a tantrum when she hears no from you about something. When you have boundaries, when you set things, she understands frame. That's a green fucking flag right there. Yeah, she understands boundaries. She understands frame. Those are green flags right there. Yeah, add those in your mind. She understands. She doesn't throw a tantrum when she doesn't get her way. She doesn't. You know, when she hears no or something, or has to wait for something, she does not lose her shit on you. She doesn't have a full-blown adult tantrum with you because she did not get her way. She might not like it, of course, but she doesn't throw a tantrum. That is the difference between the emotionally mature woman and an emotionally immature woman. And a green flag, she doesn't start the day on the defense. Yeah, she's not playing on the defense at all in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's calm, or she understands nothing anyone does is about her. That's a green flag. She read the 4 Agreements. She's read the 4 Agreements, and she's read The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. that's a green fucking flag, hands down. I recommend that book to both man and woman. But being serious, like, she understands that nothing anyone does is about her, so she doesn't start the day on the defense. Like, somebody says something to her, somebody says something about her, she ready to pop off and fight and quick to, like, to just to get into somebody's ass. It's just unnecessary. It's not that deep. Life is not that serious to where we have to be on the defense all the goddamn time. Don't get me wrong. I understand that we've all gone through things, and you have to understand that's a person that's in pain. That's pain speaking, because love doesn't talk like that. Well, most of us are either talking and behaving from love, or we're operating from pain. One of the two, So when a green flag is a woman who does not start the day off on the defense, she's not constantly trying to get into, like, to tell somebody off in an argument or whatever it is, like, she just calm. Like, most people, I say both man and woman, you know what I'm saying? You can tell a lot by a person's healing by how calm they are in situations. And, they just don't try to, they just don't try to be Mr. Get Bad all the time. But a green flag is that she also has her own boundaries for herself. And I don't just mean like with me, but with the people in her life, whether it be with her family or with her friends. It's like being mindful. If you were the friend that everyone tends to turn to all the time to get shit done, but when it's time for you, everybody crickets and they're not there. But you tend to be that one, that you're the reliable one. But green flag is that she sets boundaries with them and protects her peace. And she understands peace too. That's a green flag to me, is that she wants to protect her peace, and she wants to give, she wants to offer peace into the world. To me, that's like a green flag. And it's just not going through life feeling like the world owes you shit. That's a green flag. That green flag is that for sure. When you recognize a woman that's just very grateful for just the air that she breathes, life as itself. She doesn't feel like the world owes her something. There is something refreshing, very sexy, for that matter, about a woman who just embraces being a woman and doesn't feel like the world owes her anything, does kind things for people, and carries herself in a graceful manner, man. Like, that's the type of energy you want to protect. As a man, as a masculine man, that's the type of energy you want to protect. It's like, we have to save those type of people. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of people that are going to try them, but they can still a woman can still carry herself in that way, knowing how fucked up this world is. Yeah, we're going to do the best we can collectively. Men who operate in their masculine, or aim to operate in their masculine, we're going to do our best to protect that type of energy in women. I'll do this in two ways. I'll do this in two forms. Green flags: a single mother that has raised her kids to value men, right? Like, for those guys that come in and attempt to date single mothers, they're not in a position to where they have to say something to a child and that child does not respond well to their guidance and leadership, and you don't end up in a quarrel with their mother because you ain't gonna say nothing to my kid type thing. And it's like, well, if you can't be led, and if your children as well cannot be led, how is this going to work for you as a man? It's like, so you are to be expected to look after these people of this home, but none of them are going to listen to you. Responsibility without authority. Slavery, essentially, is how we perceive that in the manosphere. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a woman that, again, goes back to trusting men to lead, but also has incorporated and taught her children how to value, like, a man coming in as far as what his duty is going to be. And I'm sure there's plenty of men and women too, but really, like, men for this particular part, can appreciate a woman that has essentially coached, instructed, taught, guided her children to like, all right, I need you to understand the duty of a man that's responsible, effective in leadership, and all these things that I believe would be beneficial for a family unit, dating unit, whatever your unit is, like a man's role per se. I think it would be beneficial so that to me, that's like a green flag. A green flag is that the fact that a single mom, she might, she's a single mother, but she does trust, she values men enough that she's going to teach her children how to value men. You know what I mean? That to me is a green flag. Another green flag, a woman without kids, and I mean, that's why I said let me do it kind of twice. And that's nothing against women with kids. Don't get me wrong about that. You know what I'm saying? That's life happened. That's just the way it is. That's not judgment or anything. But in a situation where dating and you come across a woman that does not have kids, that's like a unicorn. For number one in today's society. But a woman without kids doesn't have that issue with the ex, or you know what I'm saying, or even that situation we just talked about with the kids and all of that. You essentially avoid that, but that's not to deter you from dating every single mother that you come across, though. Let me be very clear about that, because there are some women that really do value men enough to be like, you know what, I've taught my children how to value a man's leadership, being able to take leadership, and not just any man, you know what I'm saying, like somebody that you've been like kind of chatting with a little bit and has earned that opportunity to do that, to be able to have that rapport with the kids, and they'll actually listen to them. That I think that is very key. It's very important. It's not just any guy. Now, I know I've seen situations where it's like mom got a new boyfriend every 3 months, and it's like, you're gonna listen to Mr. Terrence now. You're gonna listen to Mr. Lorenz. You're gonna listen to Mr. Tommy. Nope. No. Somebody that has shown that they have roots. You know what I'm saying? Like they're etched in the ground. Like it's something concrete. Something that's a lot more serious than just frequent every 3 months type setup. But yeah, so you don't have to deal with that if you're dealing with the opposite, woman that does not have any kids. At this age, at 40, it's all, it's not uncommon to come across women that do that have kids, so that's nothing against them. But that's just getting that perspective from that. It's a green flag, but it's not mandatory. And to be honest, I don't necessarily have anything that's like, and as far as the green flags go, as far as mandatory, other than just being feminine, man. Be feminine and be able to be led, be able to take guidance, direction, and also that too. She offers her advice, her own guidance on things, but she understands that you ultimately, she wants you to lead, she wants you to make the decision, but she still offers that like advice and knows when to do it. It doesn't try to come off like a know-it-all, or it just comes off like a mom. If she happens to know more about a particular subject, she has no problem kind of, educating you on that in a way that doesn't come off as if, emasculating, if that makes sense. She doesn't try to mansplain in reverse. So what is that? The womansplain, the wosplain, or whatever term that would be equivalent to that. She doesn't try to womansplain something to you, but she knows that she could be of great help in this particular thing and still trust you to lead. That to me is a green flag. Of course, music, like you can never go wrong. Like in a sense with me, you can never go wrong with like having a love for an array of music. Well, whatever music you're into is great, but like an array of music, because I pretty much listen to just about everything, just about everything. I can have a respect for something. Some things I listen to more than others because I'm not there anymore. Like for me, a lot of stuff, especially like with pop and hip hop, is very trendy, and I'm not trying to fit in anymore. When I was trying to fit in, sure, I was trying to like what Drake just recently had an album. I was trying to know every song that Drake came out with, at like 20 years ago for 50 Cent or Ja Rule or Jay-Z, Nas, Busta Rhymes, all that. I was trying to know all the lyrics so that I could be, somewhere somebody randomly goes in the song like, homeboy, I came to party, your girl was looking at me, like being able to finish that line. That's the line to that song, and that's Nori. Nothing, by the way, if you want to look that up after that. But it's a dope record. Neptune's produced that from the 757. Might I add? Just always shouting out back home. Love y'all. I believe I covered a lot of core green flags that I kind of like keep in my mind. But commonly just be peaceful, respectful, be feminine. Don't be afraid to use what you know. Like, care about your appearance, of course. Recognize your beauty for sure. You're a lady. It's one of your superpowers, but your femininity is everything, man. Like your superpower. That right there, a woman who really knows how to unlock her femininity, that is a green flag. And in so many ways, man. It's not about being tough and trying to be defensive with men, but your femininity, man. Like, no man, maybe like in a work standpoint, but like in a personal life shit, talking with the guy, trying to outman him is not gonna do it. It's not gonna do it, But man, I'm talking about a woman that just knows how to unlock that femininity. No man, no child they can't fuck with you. They're not able to fuck with you when you know how to use your femininity to its effectiveness. But I believe that those are some of the green flags that I find to be the green flags in women that I find to be attractive. What would you recommend a man not to do for success in dating? Wow, that's just like the opposite of what we just did. So let us get into it. For a man, success in dating, right? You want to ensure that you have yourself together, like life itself. Like you're not dependent upon you're not still depending upon your parents for survival. Like they're there to show us the way. They're there to give us a template, but you can take that template and you can use that to catapult to something else, So I would say you have your own car that you're paying off, or it's paid off. If it's paid off, definitely better, because Lord knows I hate a car payment. But you have your own place, whether you're renting, whether you're owning, because depending on the market, renting might be better than owning a home. I still think about that to this day, as far as like getting back into renting versus owning a home. Know how to improve your appearance. So work out, be dedicated to working out. Because you want to be the best version of yourself, right? You want to be in shape, not just for success in dating, just for your life itself, man. You don't want your doctor to be the one to tell you to work out. You want to already be working, incorporating working out into your lifestyle. And there's so many benefits that comes from working out mentally. Like don't get me wrong, I love the way I look when I'm in the gym. Very vain, I'm not gonna lie about that. When it comes to working out, very vain about that, but I love the way I feel when I'm done working out. I could wake up with the worst depression feeling, temporary depression feeling. Sometimes it lingers longer, but I could wake up with like some of the worst case of depressions But when I get in that gym, man, like 30 minutes in, something, the happy chemicals start forming. There's a sense of dopamine that comes from working out, and you just feel better. You feel better about yourself, and then understanding your fashion. How do you want to dress? There's many ways that you can dress. Obviously there's so many different styles that you can execute. You have the very much the relaxed type guy. You can still be stylish and being very casual in what you wear, whether that be sweatpants and running shoes and some type of tee with that. There's a formula to it that you can still it executes, and you can still show a sense of masculinity with that. If it means dressing preppy, if it means having that country western style, like if you want to dress like very, very well like an Italian or like Cuban style or something like that, just understanding fashion in general, presenting yourself with your best foot forward and taking pride in appearance, I believe are things that you want to do. But back to what's not to do. What not to do, you don't want to be the one to blow up the girl's phone as soon as you meet her. Comes off a bit desperate, number one. That's something you don't want to do. When you first, for my young Thundercats and guys that, are new to dating or whatever, have been married, whatever, I would suggest that, if you do come across somebody that you're interested in, right? Man, woman, whatever it is that you're interested in, I would definitely not start off with sending 10 text messages or 5 phone calls when they didn't pick up in an hour. That type of, that's desperate. That comes off as desperate. And a person wants to feel like they have something of value. So when you come off as if you don't have value, they question what it is that they're actually interested in, if that makes sense. So play it cool, be calm, be collective, and really value yourself. Don't put that person on a pedestal. Yeah, they might be very pretty, they might have some perceived status to you, but they're just as human as you are. End of the day, they're just as human as you are. They just have a different perspective on life and how they carry them. No desperate moves. No being desperate when it comes to dating. So no blowing up phones is something I would say. When you are in conversation, don't talk to her like she is one of the guys. That's not going to bode well for you. I would say learn how to engage in conversation that adults can kind of speak on, if that makes sense. Talking points where it really doesn't matter what your gender is, you know what I'm saying? Or learn topics that might become very common with the person that you're talking to. I mean, before you're even, let's just say it's an online dating type thing, right? And let's see, if it's an online dating type thing, those are the times to kind of generate those conversations that you would have as if you met in a coffee shop or whatever, wherever you meet a person. Talking online, you learn to ask questions that can generate more about that person so that you can learn how to engage with them, right? So what not to do is to have conversations about, don't go into conversations talking like you talking to like one of the boys and shit like that. Like carry yourself like a man. Carry yourself like a gentleman, a gentleman that operates in his masculine. Don't have conversations and sound like some little boy gossiping at the elementary school table about his favorite cartoon or some shit like that. You can still talk about your interest in cartoons or what have you, but there's just a certain delivery. I believe the delivery is more important with that. Ask key questions when you are engaging, right? You don't want to ask yes or no questions to whoever you're talking to. And you want to ask questions that requires a person to give more than just a yes or no answer. Because when you ask, like, do you like grapes? Yes. Because you never know, that girl she might do shit like this. Yes. Okay. How do you feel about alligators? Like, the fuck does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, just have generate questions that create a solid topic of discussion. One that allows you to speak as well as her to speak touch on, give different perspectives, and kind of feel where each other's thoughts are on those things. And not go into the conversation with your cup full. We mentioned that on the last episode, but like, don't go into the conversation thinking that you know everything about what you're about to ask her. Is go into the conversation, as Jordan Peterson has mentioned, when you get into a conversation with somebody, talk to them and ask questions as if they know about something that you have no idea. So inquire, ask questions that are more than just like yes or no. That's I was definitely don't do that. Don't ask questions that only end in yes or no. Another thing to suggest for men not to do in dating, and be successful in dating, is to not react emotional. When you react emotional, that requires a woman instinctively to calm you down. And if a woman has to calm you down, she then has to operate in her masculine for you to do that. And that, by woman operating her masculine, she becomes a parent to a grown person, where she has to calm your nerves down. So you want it in reverse. You want it in reverse. You want her to feel safe enough to share her to share her feminine energy like that. It feels out of place. It's so very contradicting what I'm saying, but it's out of place for a man to be like the emotional one, but it's so commonplace that in our society that we see that, to where a woman is calming down like a man's emotions. You know what I mean? I personally believe that it's our duty to remain very still, very, very calm in nature, very calm in our nervous system. Don't get me wrong, it took work, because I certainly was somebody that was very, very emotional. And I would say not completely 100% not anymore, but definitely taking the work to operate like that on a day-to-day basis, to honing in your emotions, practicing stoicism. But you don't want to lash out. You don't want to be in a screaming match with a woman. You're not gonna win. She got more experience. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna win that one. So it's best to just remain calm. Remain calm and to work through the situation to the best of your ability together. I think that's like learning how to talk things out, because adults have conversations, children throw tantrums when they want to be heard. You know what I'm saying? And everybody just wants to be seen, heard, and loved. That's it. No matter who you meet, they're operating based off of not feeling seen, heard, and loved. For people who feel seen, heard, and loved, they have a calmer nervous system. For some of us who did not feel seen, heard, and loved, their nervous systems are nervous wreck and shot, depending on who they're around. You know what I mean? Think I'm joking? Your next family reunion. Next family reunion, watch how people operate around each other, around certain people. It's like, do they feel seen, heard, and loved is the question that you have to ask. What not to do. Do not show up on a first date in a jersey. I didn't get that. It's funny, I was having a conversation one time with somebody I was seeing, and she was like, you better not ever show up, on a date in a jersey. I didn't understand why. Like, I would never do it. I never thought about it, but I'm just like, why the fuck would she do that? But formality. It's more about taking pride in appearance. It's like learning how to carry yourself as a man. A woman will take seriously. A woman's not going to listen to a guy who operates like a child. That's I believe that's That's the big thing. You know, like a woman that's really about her shit, that's working on herself. She doing great at the job. You know, she's moving up in her job. She does not want to come home and listen to a man that operates like, you know, a child, like a 15-year-old, you know what I mean? Lashes out, just watches, you know, pretty much cartoons all day, plays video games, like all the things that we did when we were growing up, you know what I mean? And it's not that you don't have to stop doing them. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I don't watch cartoons. I'm not saying I don't play video games at some point in time. But it's all about how you carry yourself around a woman. Presentation matters. You know what I'm saying? Perception is reality. So it's knowing when to do that, you know? And but to carry yourself like a man, like to have the uniform of how a man carries himself. That's something that I would recommend to, you know, men for success in dating is that too, you know, as far as like knowing how to carry yourself in appearance and so that you can be respected. Because if you act like a boy, people will treat you like a boy. If you act like a man, people are going to treat you like a man. And they're going to test you too. If you act like, depending on how you're acting like a man too, you know, you're going to get tested, and that's where you have to show truly that you are a man. And it happens. But just carrying yourself with maturity, carrying yourself with the know-how, carrying yourself with calm energy is it pays off so much, man. It pays off so much. That's what I would recommend. It's like when it comes to dating, I would say what not to do, especially like on the first date, you don't want to start off bashing your exes, because if you can talk about them that way, who's to say that you won't talk about her someday that way? You know what I mean? Like, that's something to keep in mind. You know, you can talk about your exes, but bashing them is a whole other ball game. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. I believe there's a difference in that, and those who understand that, you get what I'm saying. So it's just having the respect to be like, you know what, they did some things I didn't care for. I did some things I know that she didn't care for. It just didn't work out for us at that particular time. It's different than that bitch was crazy. You know, like coming off like that is it comes off immature. You know, it comes off as if, you know, this is how you feel about women. You know, like, what's your respect for women? I guess that's a common question that a woman is asking herself when she's there with you on a date or engaging with you. Do you value women that way? You know, in a sense where you're talking, you know, you're bashing this bitch like this. A lot of things much can be said as far as like what a man is to not do when it comes to like being successful in dating and all that stuff. But that's just what I've come up with at this particular time. What players' jerseys were popular during school? I say the jerseys that were popular during school. When I was in elementary school, Grant Hill's Pistons jersey, the blue one with the red and white stripes on the arms. The Penny Hardaway jersey. Shaq's jersey was popular. Shawn Kemp was popular. Certainly Kobe Bryant. Let's be real. Shaquille O'Neal's Lakers jerseys. Who else was really big, man? Football-wise, I had a Dirty Bird, Jamal Anderson, Atlanta Falcons jersey, Michael Vick's jersey, whichever one, the red one, the white one, the black one. Allen Iverson, of course, was very big during high school. So what was that? Like I said, AI, Kobe, Shaq. I'm trying to think who else was like trendy around that time frame, man. I think they really covered Jordan. I mean, of course, Jordan, if you were fortunate enough to come to school with a Jordan jersey, what else? I mean, and it was jerseys that were popular, but the player wasn't necessarily popular. Like, I remember seeing a lot of kids wearing throwbacks. You know, that was around the time where Fabulous had just came out, and when Fab came out, everybody wanted to dress like motherfucking Fab. Yo, Fab had a jersey, just all kind of jerseys and shit, man. I remember seeing TJ. TJ used to wear a brown Cleveland Browns jersey, and he would have like brown Timbs to go with it, man. It was pretty sweet. A lot of throwback jerseys, the Laker warm-ups, any type of NBA warm-up, you know, but I'd say Kobe, AI, Jordan, Scottie Pippen for me, Penny Hardaway, Shaq, Grant Hill. Yeah, those were the jerseys that were pretty popular when I was in school. What music did you pick up that wasn't influenced by your house family? Music that I picked up that wasn't influenced by my house and family was, I would say, certainly reggae, right? Reggae was something that I picked up a little bit later on, and particularly just Bob Marley. Honestly, I would say I've grown to become a really big Bob Marley fan, and some other reggae artists along the way, but like nothing like Bob's work. You know, I commonly, and it was a trendy thing for me. I'm not gonna lie. It was because like, oh, Bob Marley. You know, when you think reggae, you think Bob Marley or whatever. So that's what kind of led me into it. And I also, it was a lot of songs that you would hear in like movies or TV shows. So it just kind of starts with that, like No Woman No Cry. Like when the Fugees, they redid No Woman No Cry. I remember the music video, and they would have like different scenes of Bob and performing in concert. And, you know, so I kind of would start to listen to that. For sure, Big Band. Big Band was something that, there was nobody around me that kind of influenced me with that. But I'd say I heard it. Goodfellas, yes. I was watching Goodfellas for the first time when I moved here, not here, but when I moved to Miami in 2008. Yeah, like, what was it? Like February 2008, I watched Goodfellas for the first time in my life. And I was just blown away because, you know, you would hear about the lines all the time, you know, from the movie. You know, nobody's going to jail, Karen. Tony Bennett's song, Rags to Riches. That's what the movie starts off with, you know, and I started to listen to that song. I started to listen to more from Tony Bennett, and Tony Bennett became one of my favorite artists, God rest his soul. But that's where that influence came for me. It's just from like a lot with movies. And the pop influence there wasn't necessarily, I think that was just a popular song at that time. Like Maroon 5, I became a fan of songs about Jane. Their first album, I believe that's their first album. We used to have, when I worked in the Air Force, we had this radio station. I don't remember the name of the radio station. There was the pop radio station out there, Top 40. And they would play This Love like 10 times when it was out. You know, whatever song Maroon 5 had that was out, they would play that bitch 10 times a day. And you would hear that all the time at work. So This Love, She Will Be Loved, Sunday Morning, you know, like I got influenced by that. So the radio station that we, you know, working there, and they would play that Hoobastank record, The Reason, all the time too. And Ashley Simpson's Pieces of Me, what else was out at that time? Gavin DeGraw's song, Chariot, a lot of different pop records. Of course, Gwen Stefani's Holla Back Girl. Yes, Gwen Stefani's Holla Back Girl got played a lot. Now, the real influence outside of my house would come from that of hip hop, man. I remember being 11. We're in Marquise's garage. They had Marquise's house, they had a 2-car garage. But we would just hang out after school, right? And we're just sitting on top of the washer and dryer that's in the garage. I think it was a washer and dryer. And I can vividly see the first time I heard Notorious Thugs being played. And I was like, the melody, the piano melody in the beginning, I'm just like, and Bone was very big at the time. So, we were very much into, I was very much into Bone Thugs. I like the way they sound, but they were also popular too. So I wanted to know the songs that would play on the radio. And I remember just hearing the intro, with Lazy and Busy and Crazy on it. And I'm sitting there like, man, this shit is dope. And I'm like, what is it? And then Biggie comes on after that. And it's like, I'm in dangerous. Ain't too many can bang with us. And it's like, I remember seeing Marquise and I think our boy Mac, they knew every word to this song. And I'm standing there like a deer in headlights. I didn't know any of the lyrics. I didn't know any of the lyrics, man. And I was like, all right, I need to know this. The song is dope. And I'd be cool if I knew these lyrics. That's my mindset back then. But like I learned to listen to Life After Death through them. And then one day, I think, my pop would like, if it was a popular enough artist and it was rap, my dad would buy it. And that's the only way I would get rap, because my mom wouldn't allow me to listen to that cussing on rap growing up. So my dad brought home Life After Death, and I pretty much, I would go through my dad's music and I would play whatever was the singles, because I didn't listen to albums like that. I just wanted to hear whatever was like popular. So I started listening to Hypnotize and More Money, More Problems, and what else was the single off of that? Notorious Thugs. So just those three. Now all of us that know Life After Death now know that album that's the tip of the iceberg of what that album is. You know what I'm saying? Like, Somebody Got to Die, Niggas Bleed. There's so many records. Player Hater, you know what I'm saying? Nasty Boy. There's so many levels to that album. But I wanted to fit in with my guys, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to fit in with them as far as like how that music went. And they were fresh, you know what I'm saying? Them tracks were fresh to live that. So hip hop with them, and then like to go to the military and Karumbe, my brother, one of my best friends and my brother from the military, he certainly influenced me on like a lot of things hip hop, man. Like he was into, like before it was really mainstream, he was into Chameleonaire, Paul Wall, Mike Jones. So like that Texas style hip hop that I would have never listened to, coming from our area, 103 Jams and Z104, you're not hearing Southern hip hop like that unless it's Outkast, and eventually Nelly. But everybody else, that shit don't get played up there. It's mainly New York or LA. New York or LA hip hop is all that we would hear on Z104 and 103 Jams, So going into the military, so 04 time frame, Mike Jones is like, he's starting to develop a buzz, and Steel Tippin' is like playing all over the radio out there, in Florida. In Fort Walton Beach area, they play like, Southern hip hop and stuff like that. And Kroom would play, he would always have whatever's going on at the time, whether that be New York based, whether that would be Southern based, whether that was Memphis. Like he had an ear for music. So he taught me, he had an influence on how I listened to music. Him and our boy Pablo, you know what I'm saying, Ashton was very much influential with my interest into Lil Wayne, because to this very day, and he called me about it recently. He was in a debate with I think his cousin, and they, or one of his homeboys in Louisiana, and he was like, telling me like, who the one that put you on to? I was like, without a doubt, he was the one. Like, I remember, shows how much I know about music at the time, and just coming from Virginia, the biggest artist out of Cash Money to me was Juvenile. And I laughed at the fact that he kept saying, yo, Lil Wayne. I said, like, Lil Wayne from Hot Boys, was like gonna be something. And I just remember like, all right, whatever. I don't know, you talking about Juvenile. Juvenile the best. What a difference a day makes, right? And Wayne, man, he would play the Drought albums, all the Drought mixtapes all the time. He would play Dedication. Like I went to the desert when Dedication 2 came out. So there was a lot of that influence, man. Like Wayne, mixtape Wayne was, you had to be there, honestly. Just that time frame of where Wayne was, I'm talking about everywhere on like a mixtape, man. And he shut your shit down. He would rap over your shit and he would kill your shit. Almost like Eminem worthy. Like Eminem on his own albums might not be great, but if he's on your shit, he's tearing your shit the fuck down. Renegade is not even close. And I'm a fan of Jay, but Eminem bodied Jay-Z on Renegade. He just did. But Ashton put us on. He put me on to like Lil Wayne's music. So the Carter 2, the Carter 3. Well, I was already listening to it by Carter 3, but like the Carter 2, he was always promoting Wayne in the dorms. Like when we were kids in the Air Force, he would always promote like Lil Wayne. Influences outside the house, so like very much big band. So let's say hip hop, big band, pop. I always loved music in movies because I wanted to sample like certain songs from movies. That's really how I got into listening to instrumentals. It was like because I used to produce music. I used to produce music in my early 20s. So I always wanted to be that hip hop's producer that used all the crazy samples from movies. Like something you would have never caught, like this Indiana Jones sample, Jurassic Park, or something like that. So I started listening to composers, and one of my favorite composers, John Williams, he'd done practically all the movies that we've loved growing up. Jaws, Hook, Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, Rosewood. I mean, he's done music for just about our entire childhood, you know what I'm saying? And Star Wars, Superman, I mean, the list goes on that what he's done. And so that was an influence for me. I just love listening to instrumentals, especially now. I'd say influential R&B for sure. My influences come from the females in my life, be it cousins or women that I've dated. I remember being influenced a lot by a girl I was dating. She was into Brian McKnight, and there's a dope song by Brian McKnight called Every Time You Go Away. Like she would play that shit on repeat all the fucking time. My cousin, she would play Tank, Tank's album. It's called, what the fuck is the name of Tank's album? She would play Forces of Nature. She'd play Slowly Like a Motherfucker, and Maybe I Deserve. But she came to visit me in Miami, and she played Sex Music. Sex Music is probably one of the dopest like club R&B records that I've ever heard. But I really liked Emergency. Emergency was like my favorite off of that album. I forget the name of the album, but the Emergency is sexy. I like the guitar that Tank uses on his music and stuff, and also the Can I intro, Tank's Can I intro. So a lot of influences, just love music in general. I could talk for days about just the influence of music, but yeah, big band, hip hop, the music and movies, scores, all of that. Those things weren't played inside my house. And go-go too. When I would go to my grandma's house and visit my cousin and my aunt, they would play go-go music all the time because they would go to the club and shit. And this is like 99, 2000. They're going like to the clubs and whatnot. And so you got go-go music. You got you said Bone was definitely an influence there too at my grandma's house. A lot, like I said, just a lot of music, man, influenced me. I love it. I love music in general. I believe we've come to the end of this episode. I've enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed sharing thoughts off the top of my dome. Hopefully you guys continue to listen, subscribe, like, comment, share on your profiles, have the conversation with your peoples, you know what I'm saying? Have the conversation about the green flags and what we talked about on this episode, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just as long as you keep the conversation going. But in all seriousness, sending every person's positive and healing energy, whoever's been able to listen or watch this episode. I appreciate you guys more than you know. But I'm Romy Mac, and I'm out. Good night, kids.